Sometimes you just gotta roll the dice. I'm Ashley with WatchMojo, and these are the top 10 anime powers that cost the user's life.
自身が知るものとは全く違うシルエットの幾度となく振り下ろしたであろう血にまみれた拳が
For this list, we'll be looking at the abilities used by anime characters that either have the potential to or actually end up draining the life of the caster. While many of these have plenty of survival loopholes, there's still the risk of a death sentence with every use. As always, you can follow this guy on Twitter at AshJBo, so head over there, give me a follow, and let me know which one of these powers you'd like to have. Number 10, the rare caster shells, Outlaw Star.
Well, what do we have here?
Even a swashbuckler like Gene Starwind needs an edge when it comes to contending with his fellow intergalactic outlaws. That's where the caster shells come in, ammunition with enough power to turn the tide of any space battle. As it happens, the rarer breeds happen to come with some major drawbacks, since for every shot fired, numbers 4, 9, and 13 also take a chunk out of Gene's life.
I'm still waiting.
It's the life force of the one who fires the caster.
Fire once, you'll be woozy. Fire twice, you'll be half dead.
This shouldn't come as much of a shock since 4 and 9 are considered unlucky in Japanese culture, while the rest of us know that 13 always means trouble. Number 9, Immortality Operation, One Piece.
いいか、ドフィンたちを出し抜き。オペオペの実は俺たちが横取りするんだ。
The Surgeon of Death is very, very good when it comes to using his devil fruit, especially when it pertains to slicing up his foes before reattaching them in the most unorthodox of ways. So you'd think the chance of his own power turning against him would be pretty slim. As it happens, the Op fruit's deadliest function is its ability to grant eternal youth to a singular person, so long as the user gives up their own life to do so.
よく聞けよ、トラファルガーディ・ワーテルローよ。俺にオペオペ究極の技。
With psychos like Doflamingo desperate to get their hands on such a gift, you can see why Law is rather averse to letting people know the ins and outs of his devilish toolkit.
オペオペの実を食っちまったんなら、俺のために死ねるよ。教育する必要があるな。
Number 8, Notorious BIG, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Golden Wind. It's a pretty sucky situation if you think about it. Imagine being a stand user in service to a mafia organization, but in order to complete your mission and activate your power, you have to die.
ジョルノ、見た通りそいつは即死した。調べるまでもねえぜ。
While he was unable to see the fruits of his labor, Giorno and the gang are unlikely to forget the horror inflicted upon them by this all-encompassing stand. One that devours flesh in an instant and can expand to such a size it can swallow an aeroplane. On second thought, how did this guy even know his death would summon Notorious BIG when it requires his expiration in the first place? Oh, Araki.
本体もすでに死んでいる。誰だろうとこいつを倒すことはできないわ。
Number 7, Blood Sacrifice, the rising of the shield hero. In order to finally dethrone the fanatical Pope and his false holy weapon, it once again falls to Naofumi to pick up the slack and tank his way to victory. Though this time it proves to be a tad more painful, since his new finisher spontaneously causes every blood vessel in his body to burst.
Blood sacrifice!
While it might look like a misfire, this turns out to be just the prelude to the real fun, since all that blood loss serves as the means to create a rather hungry mechanical monstrosity. While it was great to see the old geezer get his due, We can't really see overuse of this attack working out well for Shield Bro.
これだけ血が流れた上にさっきの技多分直文は命を対象に
Number 6, Shinigami Eyes, Death Note.
The price for having a Shinigami's eyes is half of that person's remaining lifespan.
Turns out there's a few other tricks that can be afforded to those who can come into possession of a Death Note. For the small price of just half your life, you can get your mitts on this pair of supernatural peepers, which just so happen to have the handy effect of revealing a person's name like an aura.
Mihaelkeehl. Your real name, it's Mihail Kale.
What the hell?
Perfect for a wannabe god of the new world with a whole list of enemies to bump off. While Light refused this little offering straight away, Misa was more than happy to halve her life in order to aid her lover's conquest. Twice, actually.
After all, don't you need someone to see El's name? If you want, I could be your eyes.
Number 5, Gon's transformation, Hunter x Hunter. If it meant ensuring that the wicked kitty that murdered his friend was buried 6 feet under, Gon was willing to do whatever it took. In a moment of pure blinding rage, the young hunter managed to somehow use his nen to achieve a much more adult form, one capable of crushing someone as powerful as a Chimera Ant Royal Guard. The results were pretty explosive, but the toll was immeasurable. If not for Killua getting his sister to use her wish-granting abilities to bring him back from the brink, this one act of aggression would have likely led to Gon's demise.
俺がお前を必ず元気にしてやっから
Number 4, Iced Shell, Fairy Tail.
なんでこんなに強い魔法を隠していたんだアイスドシェル
When it comes to putting the forces of evil on ice, this technique will do the job every time. It's also a last resort, since while it does freeze the target in a construct that is unbreakable and cannot be thawed, the price for unleashing such pure frost magic is the life of the user, where their very spirit is used as the catalyst for sealing away their foe. This is what tragically became of Gray's teacher who sacrificed herself to subdue the demon Deliora before it could harm her precious students.
私の弟子たちには近づけさせないこれで終わりだ化け物絶対氷結アイスドシェル
Number 3, 8 Gates, Naruto series.
この技の後解放者は必ず死ぬ
For a taijutsu user, this series of limiter removals is nothing short of a godsend, especially for our lads Mike Guy and Rock Lee, who are somewhat lacking in their ninjutsu skills. While unlocking gates 1 through 5 can give you a dramatic boost in strength that can cleave through even the hardiest of ninja, it's when you start digging into the last few that things start to get a little dicey. Should you open that final door, you'll temporarily be granted enough force to even damage someone as fearsome as Madara, but not for long, since your body will be too busy burning itself out.
死ぬところだったぜこやつめ
Number 2, Mafuba Wave, Dragon Ball.
Evil containment!
While we could have easily given this slot over to Vegeta and his all-encompassing final explosion, we're giving it over to the OG technique that seals all evil within its vortex before containing them in a designated space, even if it's a rice cooker. Roshi, Tien, and Kami have busted this attack out during their early years, all in the hopes of taking down the likes of Demon King Piccolo and his child. While it certainly does its job, and users have survived it a couple of times in Super, those with too weak a will or too weak a life force aren't likely to survive the process.
We will survive.
Just a quick shout out to today's sponsor, the mobile tactical RPG Arknights. Arknights is a fascinating hybrid of strategy and gacha mechanics with innovative and diverse classes, a deep ability system, and an ever-evolving storyline. So check out Arknights today.
Number 1. Ohma's Loan, Kengan Ashura.
Come on. I'm gonna get yours boiling too.
By himself, Ohma is already a beast that can break bones, shatter limbs, and generally decimate the fighting spirit of any opponents he clashes with. But for the Kengan games, that's not enough. When the going gets rough and the opponents are more monsters than men, Ohma lets his other self out the bag.
Damn, that was fast! A hell of a lot faster than during the first stage!
With its crimson skin and pulsating veins, it might look like he's been possessed by some kind of devil, but the truth is far simpler. He's putting massive strain on his heart to get the blood pumping faster, pushing his body to the absolute limit. In all honesty, it's just as deadly for Ohma as it is for his foe.
You're making a big deal out of nothing. A wound got reopened, that's all.
Ohma.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.